Welcome to Eagle Eye on Sports, a show that highlights our very own Laney College Eagles while discussing hot topics around the country about college and pro sports. This is Rudy Besikoff, and when I'm not doing presidential things, I disguise myself as that sports fan who looks like he just snuck into the cheap seats to host a little old-time sports talk radio for the fine folks right here at 96.9 FM, KGPC in Oakland. Thank you for joining us as we fill those airways with lots of talk and humor about sports at Laney and beyond.
And I'm Chris Kelly, close friend of the fan who's in the cheap seats and sage of all things baseball and the East Bay. It's great to be back for my second show.
Chris Kelly, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Had an awesome weekend.
All right.
Yeah, rolling through the week.
Good to see you back on the airwaves.
Thanks for having me.
All right. So, before we get to the headlines, let me just catch our audience up on Laney College. Right now, our football team is off to a 2-3 start, but you know what? We're halfway through, 5 games to go. Dropped a tough one to Fresno City College, 25-9. But you know what, fans? If you want to get out there and see the Laney College football team, lots of opportunities still this coming Saturday, the 19th. You can head down the bay, go to Foothill College in Los Altos, 6 p.m. It's a Saturday game. Following week, right back here at the stadium, October 25th. That's a Friday. City College of San Francisco comes in, 7 p.m. start. We're going to beat them. Then off to the road, on the road again, to Stockton, San Joaquin Delta College on Saturday, November 2nd. Game time is 1 p.m., so you'll get out there and be sure to check that weather forecast because it does get hot in Stockton. Back here, though, Contra Costa County, Friday, November 8th, another road game at Diablo Valley College. That'll be out in Pleasant Hill. The start time is 6 p.m. on Friday. And then the final game of the year, sophomore night, College of San Mateo plays right here in Oakland, 7 p.m. You ever catch any community college football, Chris?
I haven't this year, unfortunately.
Okay, we got
kind of a shut-in.
Got to put it on your list.
Okay.
It's a good time to be had by all. So.
I mean, that College of San Mateo game, sophomore night, that looks actually pretty cool.
No,
I am in town that night, so...
A few weeks ago, we had alumni night. That was great.
Ooh.
Just to see everybody come out. And,
yeah.
That was awesome. So anyway, let's turn to the headlines beyond Laney. Monday night, a few things happened. The Jets lost, and in the post-game presser, as every good quarterback would do, Aaron Rodgers threw wide receiver Mike Williams under the bus and said it was his fault for the last interception. What'd you think about that, Chris?
Yeah, I don't know where to start. I mean, Aaron Rodgers, I think, is being second-guessed all over the league right now. The Jets themselves are being second-guessed. The word that comes to mind is accountability. They got rid of the coach, so that's not the problem anymore. They can't win a game, so it's the receiver's fault. Now, they bring in Davante Adams.
That's right, a little trade action right after that.
They're all in now, so this is it. And it's ironic because across town you've got the Mets, who for years have sort of been underwhelming, but now it's the Jets that are kind of the laughingstock of New York again. So yeah, it's a weird situation.
It's a shame, in my opinion, that the Raiders didn't try to work things out with Davante Adams because they're still in the thick of things. They're a couple games out of first, obviously chasing the Chiefs, but whether it's been Aiden O'Connell or Gardner Minshew, I think the quarterback play's been okay there. Not great, but okay. And I would have tried to stick it out. I think a wild card would have been a possibility. Who knows, though? Adams had been a malcontent on the team. Maybe this does give the Raiders a boost, which, as a Broncos fan, I hate to say.
Yeah, I think the Raiders are sort of in that same situation they've been in for the last decade, which is sort of out in the woods, just not making the right draft picks, coaching decisions, So I don't know what to say, but they gave up on him again, just like they traded away their best player, Khalil Mack, a few years ago.
Right.
So it's like this is what they do.
Absolutely. The one thing that struck me, I did watch the Raiders-Steelers game. I thought they were playing in Pittsburgh with all the fans in the stands. It looked like, even though it was in Las Vegas, it looked like a Steelers home game. So, oh well. So if you have a $260 million quarterback who's not playing well, I guess it's time to have a fire sale. The Browns traded wide receiver Amari Cooper, who by my money is one of the best in the league.
Yep.
Traded into the Bills, so Josh Allen's getting some help. What do you think about that?
I don't know. Too bad for the Browns and good for the Bills. I think when you look at that conference, it's a tough conference now. The Bills have to stack up. That's what they're doing. And I actually really like to see these mid-market teams, these smaller teams, do well and rise to the top. A little bit like the Cleveland Guardians right now in the playoffs. So I love those kinds of teams.
Somebody's itching to talk baseball. Before we do that, though, want to send congratulations to the newest NFL owner, one Tom Brady. What do you think about that?
Wow. Yeah, like he needs something else to do. I mean, Tom is Tom, and he's a perfectionist. He's going to become a really good front office guy. I think he'll learn like LeBron's learned about soccer with 3% ownership in Liverpool. He's not just, like he doesn't just like toe dip, So I think it'll be good for the Raiders, and the Raiders need a shot in the arm for sure. Their ownership is.
Chris, I am so glad to have you on this show because nowhere in our previous 55 episodes was Liverpool brought up. Gotta love it. Gotta love it.
It's only 3% too. I got it right.
There you go.
He's
exactly.
making good money.
Exactly. Good. We got a little bit of depth now on this program, which is good. The big talk about Brady, though, is you said he likes to give the max on 100%, but you're an owner and you're the lead color analyst for Fox. Got some conflict of interest problems there potentially. Can't really have full ownership abilities or rights, and at the same time, as a broadcaster, doesn't have the same access that, say, a Tony Romo does going in the week of. What do you think?
Great question. Yeah, I think all the rules get bent for Tom Brady. He's that pretty boy from San Mateo, and he just always look at his life. It's crazy. So I really think that's kind of it. I can't think of any other case of a prominent athlete owning a team, also being an announcer. Yeah, he's got it all.
Yeah. Not as good as as good as John Elway was, though. If you ask me.
I don't know.
No Denver bias here at all. None. Speaking of football, let's move to college. Cal football lost a tough one to Pitt. North Carolina State's next. I know you were at the Miami game. My sources told me.
I wasn't actually at the Miami game. My brother and my dad were at the Miami game, and I was like watching it on a TV in a hotel room in Carmel. In between a golf tournament. But I was, shocked and surprised, and then of course, consistently, this happens all the time, disappointed at the end.
Yeah.
I think Cal's actually had a really good year. It's tough to change conferences. They're traveling across country frequently. They lost to a really, really good, probably the best college quarterback in the country, Miami team with Cam Ward.
Yep.
And they had that game. They had the game. They just turned off their offense, and they started like running the ball up the middle and going away from what had been successful for them in the first half. They should have closed out Pitt, which was ranked 22nd.
Mm-hmm.
So Cal's 0-3, unfortunately, in the ACC. They face, like you said, North Carolina State at home. Day game should go well. I think it's been a really good foray for Cal, at least. I don't know about Stanford, but Cal so far this year in the ACC.
I do think there's going to be a Chris Kelly factor here because the last time you and I talked, they beat Auburn. So I think something good's coming.
Yeah, for sure. And they've got 3 losses, but 2 of them are to ranked teams, and Miami's a verifiable playoff team.
I could totally see them being bowl eligible. I could see that happening.
Hey, don't get ahead of yourself.
All right, okay. Now, let me ask you this, though. Cal in the ACC.
I know, it's weird. It's really weird, but, as I've watched so much college football this year, there's so many good new matchups. It's not Washington State versus Washington or, UCLA, USC, which, of course, has its traditions, but you're starting to see, like, Oregon versus Ohio State. To me, that was an amazing, almost professional college football game. You had professional coaches. You have Ohio State went out and plucked, like, 3 of the best players in the country and gave them crazy NIL money, and Oregon prevailed. So I call it the whole landscape in college football is changing. I think it's exciting. And I'm kind of on board for the changes. You can't go backwards. You always kind of have to take what they do and go forward with it and learn the new rules. And it's a different era.
I hope with the new landscape, though, it leads to Cal playing some basketball against Duke in North Carolina.
Yeah, that would be awesome. I remember back to that Jason Kidd game when they beat Bobby Hurley in the NCAA championship. They beat Indiana. it was, I think it was in '94, and then they knocked off Duke, who was the perennial like king of college basketball, and they didn't make it any further. But that was also the team where the coach got suspended and fired for like illegal contributions to players.
Wow. Okay. Huh. Look at that little knowledge
Not
from the
naming any
90s
names
from
here,
one
but-
Chris Kelly. Let's turn to my rooting interest, which is
yeah.
the Colorado Buffaloes. They are sitting at 4-2. That's the good news, although I think a Division II school was in there with their wins. They did lose kind of a heartbreaker at home to Kansas State, and they traveled down to Arizona next. I just don't know about Colorado in terms of their quality wins. That's where my concern is. And I think a home win against Kansas State would have gone a long way to kind of answering those questions for me.
I sort of feel like I'm not sure which team's going to show up each week. The consistency hasn't been there. They have flashes of complete brilliance, and then they have real breakdowns. Arizona shouldn't be a problem. If it were Arizona State, it would be harder. My son is actually going to be at that game.
Wow.
He's flying down to Tucson. It's homecoming for Arizona.
Oh, fantastic.
Yep, just in time for Deion Sanders and crew to come on down that cruise. And so, he's probably going to go to the game.
Oh.
I'll get fresh updates from him and make
right.
sure that I text you over the
Okay.
weekend.
Excellent. All right, I'll look forward to those updates. Well, the top 25 did come out and in the AP, and right now it's Texas. We have 4 undefeated teams at 6-0 in the top 10: Texas, Oregon, Penn State, and then down at number 6 is Miami. So as we move forward, it's not going to be the 4-team playoff this year. It's going to be 12 teams. What do you think?
College football is just getting better and better. The quality, the quickness, the offensive schemes and play calling, it's super exciting. I like where it's going. Texas looks unbeatable. I haven't seen a big flaw there. Oregon's beatable. They should have lost to Ohio State, but they sneaked it out at home at Autzen Stadium. People went nuts. Miami is beatable. Cal almost knocked them off on the road. So I think it's kind of wide open. Alabama, Tennessee, there's some really good teams up there. I'm good with the playoff. I like college football. What do you think? Do you think it's expanded too far?
Yes, I actually.
What about we go back to like no playoff? Are you
actually? You know what? That's where I am.
Okay.
I thought having your September games mean something.
Yeah.
Or mean more than they mean now.
Yep.
I think that
those
was
league
key.
games at the end of the season where UCLA has got to beat USC to get into the.
I mean, it's to
whatever
me,
bowl.
it's Stairway to Heaven, where the season starts and the music's going slow, but as you get in, it gets faster and faster and faster to that crescendo.
And that guitar starts ripping.
And yes, it's kind of messed up that you have sports writers at the end voting on who the national championship goes to, but I don't know. I loved the high stakes nature of college football before, and I kind of miss it.
Yeah, but there's so much more money nowadays that you can earn.
When do we get some of it? That's
Never.
my question.
Never. The fans never get any of it. They just get more commercials on TV.
Okay. Yeah. Well, you know what,
And
sports
higher
fans,
ticket prices.
That's right. So higher ticket prices, but sports fans, it's time to put away your breakables. This is the high impact part of the show, also known as Baseball with CK Chris
my God.
Kelly.
Oh, yes. Let's go.
So let's turn it over to you. We are in those championship series times, and it is on, as they say. And let's turn it over to you, the baseball aficionado.
All right. Well, I have to bring you. You have to be in this conversation here with me
Oh, I will.
because so first of all, the season I thought was great because you didn't really have a clear winner. You had Philly really good in the National League all year. They're gone.
Right.
You had San Diego really good all year in the West, dominant team, back and forth with the Dodgers. They're gone. It looks like it might be. It could be the Guardians. I don't know. The Yankees.
You're calling your shot, huh?
The Yankees are stacked. That's the problem. They're stacked. You face Soto, you face Judge, then you get Stanton, then you get Verdugo, and it goes all the way 1 through 9. On the other side, the Mets are super fun to watch. It looks like a sandlot game, and they're having a great time against the super stacked corporate Dodgers. So I would love to not see the Dodgers in. Major League Baseball wants to see the Dodgers and Yanks.
No, it's quite a matchup, and You know, it is a perfect time to kind of step aside for just a second and remind our audience you are tuned in to Eagle Eye on Sports right here on the Blowtorch of Oakland, 96.9 FM KGPC. All right, back to baseball, Chris. Let's keep it going. You're giving us some great fresh knowledge here.
Yeah, I mean, so Ohtani hasn't caught fire yet. I think he's batting under 300. If he gets fire, you know, the Dodgers will go lights out. You face 3 MVPs in a row. It's like the stacked Yankees. You've got Mookie Betts, Ohtani, leading off. Ohtani leads off, then Betts, then Freddie Freeman, then Max Muncy. And it's just 1 through 9. You got solid players, and then the big surprise is the Dodger pitching. They've always been known for their offense, but they recorded 32 consecutive scoreless innings across their whole bullpen and starting pitching staff. So,
you know, I love Dave Roberts' strategy to bat Ohtani at the top of the order because
he steals a lot of bases.
That, and then also, I mean, get him more at bats. And I mean, if the number 1 hitter is batting more than the number 3 hitter, then you probably helped your team more.
I'm biased. Dave Roberts is not historically been good at making decisions at all, especially during the playoffs, but I'm with you on that one for sure.
Excellent. All right. Now, you know what? Thinking about you and your love of baseball.
Yes.
Traditionally on this program, when we get to the all-time segment, it's always been pro football. But just for you, Chris Kelly, I've switched it to baseball.
Oh, damn.
And I've gone back to our good friends of Eagle Eye on Sports, Athlon Sports, because they produce all these all-time lists. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read you their top 10 all-time closers, okay? And just to let you know, basically what you get to do is I'm going to read them to you, and you get to keep them where they are at their ranking, move them down, move them out, or move them up.
Ooh,
all right.
I like that.
So we're going to start with number 10, K-Rod. Back from the Barry Bonds World Series days.
Yep.
Troy Percival, he was part of that.
Crushed the Giants.
Francisco Rodriguez, the number 10 closer all time. What do you think?
I don't know. Sore spot in my history with this. He shut us down. He shut that really good offensive team down. I'm not sure he belongs in the top 10 if you think about all of them. Maybe move him out.
Okay. Number 9, this guy pitched forever for the Reds and Mets, John Franco.
Wasn't he a starter that became a reliever?
He was one of those,
like Schmaltzy. Or Greg Maddux, I mean. Anyhow, I don't know. I don't have enough detail on him. I don't think he belongs in the top 10.
You wouldn't put him there?
No.
Okay. All right. You know, I know Fear the Beard in San Francisco means something, but this one was
the original
Beard. The 70s. Bruce Sutter, 300 saves, Hall of Fame pitcher with the Cubs and Cards, and did win a World Series in 1982.
Yeah, he's for sure an OG and belongs definitely in this list. I remember him as like 6'5", this giant with 2 limbs for legs, and beard or mustache, big red hat, and just fearsome like that.
Would you have him at 8, or would you move him up a little bit?
I would maybe move him up a little bit.
Okay,
I don't know.
Okay, speaking of intimidating presences from that period, this now would be more the 80s with the Cubs and then a bunch of other teams. Lee Smith was a 7-time All-Star, 478 career saves.
Savage. Belongs in the list, right in the middle, maybe a little higher up.
Okay.
Total fear from the greatest hitters there were in the era. Of Lee Smith.
Now, I have a sense that a millennial might have written this top 10 all-time list because number 6, they have the Goose, Rich Gossage, 9-time All-Star, Hall of Fame, won the World Series with the Yankees. Seemed like he would always be the exclamation point on baseball games.
Yeah, I'm with you. You're probably right in your perception of who wrote it. I think he's further up. I don't know if he's in the top 3, but probably top 5. I'm thinking top 5.
All right.
One of a kind, the Goose.
That's right. So now, number 5, one of the newer members of this list, pitched most of his career with the Astros. All right. 7-time All-Star, 422 saves, 2.31 ERA, and I think he was the only left-handed person on this list, Billy Wagner.
You probably got to keep a lefty on the list, but he's not number 5. He's not number 5. Okay. I would put John Franco and K-Rod above him.
Okay.
Actually.
All right. Number 4, Definitely World Series winner in the Bay Area. 7 times All-Star. 1981 Cy Young Award winner as a reliever, the first one to do that. MVP of the league, Hall of Fame, World Series champ, Raleigh Fingers.
I just hope that he copywrote that mustache.
That's right.
I mean, one of the greatest A's of all time, one of the greatest pitchers during that famous 3-year championship World Series era. Yeah, he had flair, he had style, and he overpowered hitters.
All right. Well, I think our audience is picking up on the fact that you have some radio time. And if we were in different seats and you were sitting in front of the board, I think right now you'd be turning on Hell's Bells from AC/DC for our next one. 7-time All-Star, 601 saves, Hall of Fame, no World Series. Trevor Hoffman, number 3 closer of all time.
Yeah, Mr. Consistency. A
He did finish up with the Brewers, I believe.
A buddy of mine who I played Babe Ruth in Alameda with as a kid went to Arizona State and was a shortstop and showed up and was the number 2 shortstop at the time, Trevor Hoffman, who they converted to a pitcher and then later on a reliever. I think he's one of the GOATs. He's top 3 for me, if not higher.
All right. Number 2, another Bay Area, East Bay legend. Started his career as a starter with the Red Sox.
Yep, like many of them do.
6-time All-Star, in the Hall of Fame, World Series champ, won the Cy Young, like Fingers, but in 1992, MVP of the league as well, Dennis Eckersley.
Yeah, I mean, you chalk up MVP of the whole league, Cy Young Award winner, starter converted to reliever, Hall of Fame, World Series champ. He's up there. He was feared, and he had that off-speed pitch that dove and was famous for it. Backed it up with a really great, fastball.
Yeah. And the number 1, I don't know. This one,
I think this guy's the number 1 guy.
Okay, so first of all, 13-time All-Star. Okay.
How many World Series, though?
5 World Series.
Exactly.
MVP of the 99 World Series. Lots of accolades, and threw exactly 1 pitch. He had 1 pitch. That's all he threw, which was his cutter.
And the crazy thing is that all the hitters knew it was coming.
And nobody could stop Mariano Rivera, who was Athlon's
and you knew the cutter was coming, and there was no, and I saw a heat map one time, and the New York Times did, of all the cutters he threw the whole season, and most of them were out of the strike zone.
Yeah.
But they looked like they were these meaty fastballs right down the middle, and they just dive in different directions. And it's just amazing. So I put him right up there. He was a gentleman, soft-spoken, super hard worker, total hard worker, just like Trevor Hoffman. I don't know about Raleigh Fingers, how much he put into it, but I think this is a really great list.
All right.
So you want to pick yours?
Here we go. I'm going to counter here.
All right.
All
Okay.
right. So here, my number 10,
Okay.
I have Lee Smith. I thought he was dominant.
Okay.
And as a kid who spent his summers in the middle of the United States watching WGN on local TV, no cable.
Cubs games.
Cubs and fiber optic Cubs. Yeah. That wasn't
Harry.
Lee Smith. I had him number 10. Now,
okay.
You know what? I do know where this show broadcasts from.
Yes.
And,
Bay Area.
And you know what? You do fear the beard. Brian Wilson. I don't know how he wasn't on this list.
I mean, I was, we were glued to every single Giants game that was played in every playoff game all season during 2010, 2012, 2014. He wasn't there in 14, but he was this colorful character, and he closed games, and he downed Red Bulls before he ran out there, and he was just that kind of a guy, like that classic Goose Gossage, but for a modern era.
I got to ask, Chris, before the show, how many Red Bulls did you have?
I had some Tic Tacs, actually.
Okay.
I did have some coffee. I usually have an afternoon coffee, but I limit it to 1 cup.
Okay,
yeah,
there we
Pete,
go. All right.
Pete's.
I was feeling some Red Bull from you there for a minute. So, but I do appreciate that by naming Brian Wilson, you did not come across the studio and ask Felicia to have me removed. So I appreciate it.
No. Yeah. He's in there. I like it. It's a dark horse, but I didn't include it.
All right, number 8. I felt bad about this one, but I kind of left Bruce Sutter where he was.
Okay, that's fine.
He's
top 10, though, for sure.
Now, when I think about relief pitchers, I think about that radar gun. And when you get the 1 in the hundreds column, that you top 100. This guy pitched for the Giants, but also the Marlins, Rob Nen. He was just unstoppable.
Another one of those classic, tall, strong, workhorse, great hard stuff. and also he had a slider that just dropped off.
Yep.
So yeah, he had the combo.
And I think
I don't think he's top 10, but because I'm a Giants fan, I mean, I would put Rod Beck maybe around the same place.
He was on my cutting room floor, but he was close.
Okay.
But the thing is with that Marlins team, I remember Levon Hernandez, I remember El Duque, I remember I think he was on that team, maybe. But I just remember they had so much starting pitch, and I think
they had Schmidt back then.
Kevin Brown, I think, was part of that group.
Yep, they had Schmidt back there. So, Kevin Brown played for the Dodgers later on.
I get the feeling Nen gets lost in the shuffle a little bit, but I did think he was dominant.
All right.
Speaking of dominant, all right, and yes, my Minnesota Twins bias is creeping in here. Pitch for the Expos, closer for the Twins when they won the World Series, the Terminator, Jeff Reardon.
I never heard of him.
All right. See, well, you had that mid-'90s knowledge about Jason Kidd that I didn't know about. All right.
I don't know. I mean, I shout out to you for putting the guy in there from your local fun team and all, but I don't know.
Homer.
I don't know that he's in the list with Dennis Eckersley and Bruce Sutter, but Jeff Reardon, okay.
Questioning everybody's credibility here at Eagle Eye Sports.
That's what I'm here for.
All right, listen, remember what I said about high on the radar gun?
Yes.
This guy hit 105 miles per hour, Aroldis Chapman.
Yeah, I mean, he's got to be in the conversation.
You can't hit what you can't see.
He's got to be in the conversation. Okay. The guy sweated like 3 pounds off during every inning. But, good.
Yeah, dude threw hard. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
All right, I think about the slider to Kirk Gibson. And I got to move Eckersley down a little bit. I've got him at number 4.
Ooh, okay.
Although he was
good
awesome.
Good point.
Okay,
he did give up a real dinger to a cripple during the World Series.
That was tough. But number 3 is actually Athlon's number 1. I have Mariano Rivera as number 3, and I know he has the numbers and the hardware, but when we get to 2 and 1, I gotta put him a notch below. And
okay.
So
right.
Anyway,
I want to hear the 2 and 1.
Number 2, just unstoppable, scared people.
He hit Ron Say in the head one time.
Even the mustache.
Do you remember when he hit Ron Say in the head and knocked his helmet off?
That was the last I saw of that type of batting helmet after that. I remember after that, everybody had a
Yeah, Say wore one of those like little small ones. Yeah, with no ear flap.
So Goose Gossage, I've got him as my number 2 all time, ahead of Rivera. I think
the concussion giver.
Yeah, something like that. And then number 1, I'm sorry, we're local.
Okay.
And
plus, I mean, this is a surprise. Your audience cannot see this list that we're looking at, so they don't know what's coming. But this is a surprise.
And as a Brewers fan, also myself,
but I'm cool with it.
I've got Raleigh Fingers as the number 1 reliever all time. All right. Okay. So now, as we come in for a nice smooth landing here, Chris, I've got some crazy finishes to football games to close out our throwback video feature.
I like it.
So we're going to get started with Billy White Shoes Johnson and a Hail Mary from 1982 that was just amazing.
Oh, man.
So now they've got to go to the end zone with 2 seconds left.
Are we talking Hail Mary, or are we talking reception and lateral?
I would say right here you've got to go to Billy White Shoes and let him do a little dance with the ball and try to go for the end zone. Here come the Falcons with Hodge, Bailey, and Johnson all to the left side. 2 seconds remain. 49ers will come with a 3-man rush. Bartkowski to throw. He is going long down the near sideline. It's going to be a jump ball, and it is pulled down by Billy Johnson. Johnson inside the 10, 5. He is down. He is. Give it to him. He's in. Touchdown.
An upset of the San Francisco 49ers in 1982. Do you remember that game?
I remember the game. I remember the play. Just seeing it now, it looked like he was down well before the goal line, and the announcer said, just give it to him. And I think the NFL was just a different league back then.
No, and I think those announcers had dinner reservations. I mean,
for sure. Yeah, so, nudge it a little bit for us.
Let's move to college football. Probably the most famous Hail Mary pass, Doug Flutie.
3 wide receivers out to the right. Flutie flushed. Throws it down. Caught by Boston College. I don't believe it. It's a touchdown. The Eagles win it.
The Eagles win it. Wow, yeah, that's a play, and a lot of people think that won him the Heisman, but that had already been decided at that point. And as we come in for a landing, Chris, I had to think of you and one last highlight right here in Berkeley.
Harmon will probably try to squib it, and he does. Ball comes loose, and the Bears have to get out of bounds. Rogers along the sideline, another one. They're still in deep trouble in midfield. They tried to do a couple of... The ball is still loose as they get it to Rogers. They give it back now to the 30. They're down to the 20. Oh, the band is out on the field. He's going to go into the end zone. He's going into the end zone.
That's right, the play.
And he runs into the trombone
And
player
hits
in the end
trombone
zone,
player.
of course.
And you know what? I think hitting the trombone player is the perfect way to end our half hour. Chris, awesome as always. Great job. And to our sports fans out there, hope you have a great rest of the week and an amazing sports weekend, and you get out to see our Laney College Eagles. And as always, go Eagles!